Hey everyone, it's Tyler with VireSabers. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install the control box onto your LGT VHC Saber. Okay, so first let's take a look at what comes in the kit. A lot of times we'll throw the clamp card that you select, we'll put it in the kit, but let's see what we got in here. So first and foremost, we have the actual metal control box here. If you'll notice, these holes will match the pattern of your VHC switch segment. And you do need a switch segment that has these two front screws here. If you want to build a Saber, but you don't want to use one of these types, I do have an option linked off in the description for this on the actual website to add a drill and tap service. So I'll actually come in here. Essentially what I'll do is if you have a switch that doesn't have these holes, I will place it where it needs to go, I'll mark the holes, and then I'll drill and tap them. Okay, so we've got the box. We've got two sizes of Allen wrenches. We have this adjustable plunger button that Kier whipped up. And got a couple of M3 by 10 millimeter screws. If you have a thicker hilt, you might need M3 by 12 millimeter screws. If you need those, or you think you might need them, go ahead and leave a note in the checkout and we'll know to throw those in for you. But these will work for like 99% of your hilts. Then you've got these two tiny little M2 screws, and you only need one of them. Usually you can get away with the smaller one. And what that does is that's going to go inside this little assembly here. And that's going to allow us to, essentially when you press on the top, we'll get this all the way through first. So when you press down on this with the card from the top, your screw will reach down and make contact with the button underneath. So that's the point of this being adjustable. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do, go ahead and take out the old screws. And these old screws might work just fine. If they're the same size as the ones that come with it, then you're fine. Sometimes they might be a little bit smaller though. Okay, so we'll just work these out. Okay, now we can lay the box right over it. Drop the screws in. And we don't need to crank down on it, you're just going to snug these up. Cool, there we go. So that's on there, you can see it lines up. You can still plug in your charging port, whether you have a USB-C or the round port, both will fit right in there. So you don't even have to take this box off to charge it. Next we're going to put our variable plunger in. And this all is a little bit tedious, but once you have it set, you should be good. Okay. Just screw that all the way down, and you're good to go. All right, so now it's mostly on. We can put our clamp card in here, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna press down on it, and we're gonna adjust that little plunger, the set screw, until it does what we want it to do, essentially. So right now it's not doing anything. That tells me that the screw is not quite making contact, so I'm just going to turn it once. Not quite. All right, there we go. Now, as you can see, the card's still pretty slidey in there. There's two things that we can do to fix this. The first method, if you don't have a hot glue gun, you can back this whole assembly off so that it puts more upwards pressure on the card, and then you're gonna probably want to switch over to the longer screw so that you can go down further to compensate. And that will provide pressure of the clamp card up against the top here. Or my preferred method is to grab a hot glue gun. And I know not everyone's gonna have one of these, but it really is the best way. I've tried other methods, and this is just the easiest. So if you would imagine this clamp card sitting in here, on either side of this set screw is where you're going to be aiming. So you can just go ahead and put a little dab of hot glue on one side and on the other. You don't want to use too much, otherwise it won't slide in and out. But if you don't use enough, it won't hold well. So we'll just give this a few seconds to cool down. Okay. Now we should be able to just slide that in, just like so. All right. And that card is nice and firm in there. And the nice thing about using hot glue like that is we can always go back in when it's time to recharge and just push it out. And there you go. The glue's still intact. We can recharge. You don't have to slide it out all the way, but plug it in charge and then pop it back into place. And that's not going to fall out on its own. I mean, it's in there pretty secure. So there you have it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. As always, we will be more than happy to help. And we'll see you guys out there. Thanks a lot.